Welcome to this month's project, drawing a white rabbit in white charcoal on black paper. We used Canson black drawing paper, although you can use any black paper you like, and these were our tools.
Hello, I'm Joan Manson with the Seminole County Library System, and I want to share with you the February project, which was working in white on black paper using white pastels or charcoal on black paper. I'm using black Canson paper, drawing paper. It's a smooth surface, weighs 92 pounds, so it's a sturdy paper. And you can use any black paper you'd like. Construction paper is just fine if you're just starting out and trying to experiment. This is a 9 by 12 inch pad. This is the image that I will be working with today. This is a hare who I'm guessing is long gone by now because it's a long time ago, who lived in upstate New York. These are the materials that I will be using. I'm going to be using white pastel. I've got a couple of different kinds of chalks that I'm using. White charcoal pencil. This is a pastel pencil. This is a charcoal pencil. I have a black charcoal pencil from a non-name brand. Any black charcoal will do. I have a pencil eraser and a pencil cap eraser. I have a couple of blending tools. I have a clean one and the one that I've been using for some time. And I have a sponge applicator that's like a cosmetics applicator. If you have a cosmetics applicator, an eyeshadow applicator, those work great. You can use those as well. You can also use a cotton swab. That would be just fine for blending. Erasers are very important. I recommend a good eraser. Anything that you've got would be fine. You can work on the edge. What's nice about the pencil eraser is that you can make nice clean sweeps of lines, or you can use the pencil cap to erase larger areas. They work very well. I also have a mono zero eraser from Tombow. It works like a mechanical pencil. It has a strong eraser. And I have other exciting erasers that one can use. This is a plastic eraser from Tombow, and it's plastic. And this is one from Artist Loft, also a plastic type eraser. You can use, if you like them, you can use the malleable gum eraser. To clean it, you just twist it around until a clean side shows up. I'm not especially fond of it myself. I like it for dabbing up a few spaces, but lots of people love them, and the choice of eraser is really a personal one. So if you have a gum eraser, then that would be fine too. I'm just going to put these out of the way. Whatever you got, the eraser on the back of your number 2 pencil will work. This Artist General's plastic chalk comes with an eraser. I've used that as well. But the eraser is a big part of this. Put those to the side. Now, I'm going to transfer the image. I would normally draw this freehand, but for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to show you how you can trace it on. I'm going to use the chalk on the back. Cover up all of the back with the chalk, which is difficult to see, of course. Put it in place. Another thing that you will need is a piece of tape so that you can hold your image in place while you're tracing it. Now, you can trace this with a pencil, a mechanical pencil, an embossing tool, whatever you like. I'm going to use the charcoal pencil, starting at the ear and coming down. I'm going to stop, pick it up, and take a look and say, well, aside from getting all that extra pastel on it, it's coming down just fine. I'm going to draw over the areas that are covered by grass. We'll take care of that with an eraser later. Just doing general shapes. Make sure I get the eye in just in the right place. And I'm going to put it there because it's a lighter area. And this is a little bit lighter area. Fill that in a bit. Okay. Now I've drawn my image. I'm going to put my picture to my right. I can refer to it as I work. And I'm just gently rubbing out the white that's there, but you can hit that with an eraser later on. I've got a smaller piece of pastel here. You just break it off if it's, whatever you have. I'm just being careful not to hit the eye. I'm just starting with the head and the ears. I'm going to bring in my blending tool. So you can see how that works. Now this isn't a white rabbit. It's a brown hare. I'm going to bring my eraser over because I've gone too far with the black. I've covered up the eye a bit too much. I want to protect that. Okay. Now in the next section I want to show you how the applicator tool works. That's the eyeshadow applicator tool. Cosmetic applicators work beautifully with pastels. And you can pick them up in the pharmacy or cosmetics department of any pharmacy or supermarket for not very much money. And you just keep moving along. You're laying your white on the black paper. The further you move and work with the applicator, the more you see shades of gray. There we go. Another thing you can do with the applicator is pick it up, rub it on the pastel, and then lightly apply it. Now this will be a very light application. This is barely a gray. Okay, so if you need to do that, just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to apply some more here on the outside. I'm using the side of it. You can make little circles with the edge of your pastel, like this. And I brought in some cotton swabs so you can see how they blend. And a generic brand will do. You do not have to use Q-tip. Any cotton swab is just great. Whatever you have in the bathroom works just fine. Just blending this up some more. Okay, now I have the base layer of the pastel down on the paper. The first thing I'm going to do is bring in the black charcoal pencil and define the eye. And there's this nice reflection. Now this is outside. It's just a reflection from daylight. The rest of the work we're going to be doing is with the charcoal or pastel pencil and the erasers. And let me bring that pastel pencil here for the reflection. There's a little light here. And there's a little light on the curve of the eye. So the eye is, for all intents and purposes, complete. Now I'm going to come in first with my eraser. And bring in any dark areas. I'm not pressing very hard. This is just a light application. And I'm only going to work one section at a time. I'm not going to work the entire piece. Unlike painting, when you work with pencils or this sort of technique, you do a section at a time to bring up the layer. There's a nose over here, just a tiny aspect of the nose. Anything that I need to be truly black, I'll bring the charcoal pencil in for. There's a shadow of the fur under the head, and I'm just doing light tapping with the pencil. As I said, you can use any kind of an eraser. If you don't have one of those, we can try to lift this off, get the plastic off my eraser here, and use the clean side. This is the plastic eraser. I can use the square edge, and I can just do the same thing. Just dragging down very lightly, pulling the pastel away from the paper. But you'll see as you're doing it, that it's not taking all of the paper, all of the pastel away, and we don't really want it to. Now I'm going to go back to using this other one because I prefer it. I'm going to make a shadow here. Too much. shadow here. I'm just taking short dashes, just short dashes in the areas that need to be darker. And I don't know if any of you took my drawing class last year. I showed you how to do a drawing from an eraser, erasing a blackened page. Now I'm just going to apply some of the charcoal pencil. So we're working in reverse negative space here. Short dashes. Just pushing it down and picking it up so that I'm creating the illusion of hairs on the hair. I did a pun. Very light dashes here to lighten it a bit, but leave it pretty dark. Again, I'm constantly looking back at the reference photo to see where the light falls. And you can use, as I said, a pastel pencil or a charcoal pencil. You can get these at any business supply stores like Staples or Office Depot or Office Max if they're still in business. You can use Walmart has an art supply department. Walt has an art supply department. All the art supply stores carry these. Generals is generally carried most frequently, but other brands are available. Whatever you like, they all work beautifully. They have varying prices, but I really, in terms of using charcoal, white charcoal and black charcoal pencils, I really wouldn't be too concerned about the price. I find that the biggest difference is the wood and how the pencil sharpens. And the pencil is constantly breaking. There are two reasons for that. Either either the charcoal within or the lead within the pencil is broken, the wood is poor, or your pencil sharpener needs a new blade. I'm going to lighten that up a little bit more, and I'm going to use this just so you can see me using it more. And then I'm going to come back with tiny dots of the pencil. This is the black charcoal pencil. I'm just putting in tiny dots to darken the area. Okay. And on the ear. when I'm adding little dashes, I start at the top because the hair on the hair is moving from the nose up. So the dashes you put in the front will slightly cover the dashes you're doing in the back. And that's just so you're not creating any really harsh lines. And this is also something, if you don't have a pastel pencil, if you don't have a piece of white pastel chalk or white charcoal, there's no reason that you can't just do this whole thing with black and white charcoal pencils. And I'll show you one where I did that for another rabbit. Just click, click. And if I'm doing longer streaks with the pencil, and they're further apart. Now I'm going to just apply pressure with the pencil. The area around the eye is much lighter. So I'm just coloring it in place, burnishing it virtually. I hope I'm bringing it down. I won't blur it for you. I should have mentioned you need a pencil sharpener for these. Just a standard, ordinary plastic pencil sharpener works just fine. A metal one, whatever you have, something like this is just great. This is another one. The sad thing to keep in mind, while I take a break from this, is that these little blades wear down. They're not really cheap. This is $5. This piece is $5. You can buy, you have to look hard for them, you can buy replacement blades for these and get a teeny tiny screwdriver and replace them, and I have done that. I found them online on Amazon, and so I've been replacing the blades. As soon as your pencil ceases to sharpen correctly, you need a new blade or a new pencil sharpener. But if you see these little things on sale, go for it. And we're just going back and forth. That would be the royal we. Just going back and forth in the darker areas if I find that I feel that they're too dark. And then I'll come back with the black charcoal in just a couple of areas. I may add a little bit of black sparingly to the fur. Sometimes just tapping it. Sometimes creating particular areas that are especially dark. Again, I'm coming back over to the nose and making it darker. And there's a mouth here. And I'm going to add that in. Okay. I'm just going to have a little dash of white lines to show furs overlapping the mouth. There we go. You can see that there is progress being made. This area needs to be just a little bit lighter. And it's just putting the pencil down and picking it up and just making dashes. Only in areas like around the eyes do I need to press it in and make circles. Everything else is fur. Before I work on the stomach, I'm going to work on the hind quarters of the rabbit. Dashing, dashing, dashing. Little dashes of white. Not too much. Picking out the places that had the greatest highlight, adding more strokes there, and I'll come back in more charcoal pencil. Get up a little bit further so we're not working with the ears now. Let me get further up here. Here we go. I'm going to bring in a little bit more of the black charcoal pencil. If I feel as if it's taking over and if it's too dark, I'll just bring in my pencil eraser and add some lighter streaks with it. But here too, I'm not putting it together. They're separate strokes, and they're allowing the gray behind them to show through. Now I'm going to take those little cotton swabs and bring it down a bit. Just tapping, not really dragging, just tapping. Picking up any excess charcoal. And then I'm going to come back again with the white. Just little strokes here and there, not consistent, not concentrating in any one place. When you look at an animal, particularly a wild animal, the fur of a rabbit or a deer, for instance, you'll see that the colors are in the pelts are different. And there are a multitude of colors, shades of browns and reds. There we go. I think that's much better now. Now I'm going to move over to this side. List of all the materials that you need are in the description below. not all in one place, just sprinkling the dashes of black charcoal. And let me bring the applicator. Okay, now I'm going to move down to the feet. It needs to start darker. Just curving it with the way the foot curves, and then working from the bottom, because there we go, the fur will come down over it. I'm going to use the dirty part of the cotton swab and blend a little of that dark shade onto the top of that front right paw. And then I'll come back again and darken it a bit more. And get that swab in again. And lighten it. Okay. I've got one more paw to go. The fur at the bottom. And let's bring the white back in. Now what I have left is the tummy. I'm not doing them they're side by side but not close together, barely touching. And these are light dashes, because I have to come in and do some other detailing with the black charcoal and with the eraser when I'm finished putting these lines in. I bring in the charcoal pencil. There are areas that are a little bit darker. There's some spots where it's apparent that the fur is standing out just a bit. And I'm going at the edge of those. Not just a carpet. The fur moves away from the body, follows the musculature of the body, the structure. And some of the fur stands away from the fur beneath it a little bit more interestingly. And I'll come back out here with the white, just to better accentuate the shadows in the fur. Leave that ear. Let's bring this down so you can see me working on the ear. The ear needs to be a little bit lighter. And now I'm going to add the grass. There's grass, as you can see here, over the toes or the paws. And I'm going to use the eraser to just bring that up. I'm just going to drag it up. And but I can't see what's going on with the black part. We just cover up the white there. And then I bring up pieces of the grass in the black as well. And my piece is complete. I hope you've enjoyed sharing this with me. And remember, if you miss anything or if you're working along, all you have to do is pause the video, look back, move on, go back and forth. It's not really easy to just follow step by step through on a video because I don't know when to stop and wait for you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I look forward to seeing you in my March adult art class with the Seminole County Library. It is still a Zoom class.